Stay Alive is a survival horror tabletop role-playing game with elements of violence, emotional trauma, biological infection, and may include other mature content or themes. Viewer discretion is advised.
Previously on Stay Alive, our survivors found themselves in the middle of a cult like encampment of the Third Coming. A peculiar and dangerous individual known to the group only as Isaac had taken the children that were previously kept safe in the elementary school that the survivors had made their holdout bastion, and ultimately through force and favor, antagonized Mage and Adrian to pursue them after having recently released Gwen, purposefully infecting her with the exorcitum animatus virus in the process. The survivors, along with their new ally Charlie, drove a beat up pickup truck escorting Operative Taurus, former colleague and professional cohort of Operative Mage, to the encampment along with the rest of the survivors with the intent of laying siege on the cultists there, retrieving the children, and hopefully escaping with whatever timeline left they had left on their lives. Fortunately, the overall mission was a success. However, a showdown between Operative Mage and Isaac saw the survivors down one set of hands, and shortly thereafter, upon leaving out with the children having been rescued, Gwen had ultimately succumbed to the effects of the virus. Separating themselves from the rest of the group in a honest and tender moment together, the husband and wife parted ways, with Gwen not succumbing to the worst effects of the virus, but unable to return to the school with David. Throughout this process, the survivors also learned of a mysterious individual referred to only as the Doctor thus far. Some shadowed individuals specifically looking for specimens or something in the vein of experimental components, of which it was suggested the Third Coming was doing something in the way of assisting. With little to no questions answered in that specific regard, the group made their way back to the safety of their elementary school, what little protection it yet provided, with Operative Taurus letting them know that Operation Starlight had clearly been engaged. A remnant suggestion from the new specimens of Zerk that these survivors had been observing, as well as being indicative of any number of other things. A special code provided to Operative Taurus being the key, and David the conduit for this information. We now pick up with the survivors. Few as there might be, the newly rescued Addison alongside the children, returning back to the comparatively increased safety of the school as David hangs back to tend to his last marital act. So, Addison, Adrian. As a stoic and quiet operative, Taurus sits in the back of the pickup truck, Charlie continuing to smash the gas forward in the only unsubtle way he knows how, ultimately return back to the school with a dozen children in tow, and coming to a stop probably a good 100 feet away from the main entrance, which is now largely decimated due to rocket fire from David. What happens next?
We're gonna get all the kids off, get them kind of out and tucked away, see if we can find Fiona and Ari. Are you all right? You're not hurt or anything?
Sensing the
Addison?
commotion outside with the additional chaos of the children moving out, you do eventually see Ari and Fiona break the threshold of the main entryway, cautiously looking out, but not charging into the parking lot necessarily.
Sure. Addison, Addison, right?
Yes, ma'am, Addison.
You all right? You're not hurt or anything? I'm afraid I'm not much of a doctor, but...
Well, that their sedative that they gave me seems to be wearing off, and all fingers and toes seems to be wiggling. So I
That's
think
good.
I'm fairly good. How are you? You don't look so well. You look like you've been through it.
I've seen better days, but I'll be okay. I'll be all right. We're as safe as we can be now, I guess.
Not to point out the obvious, ma'am, but this place looks like a war zone.
Well, I mean, it has looked better, yes, but fortunately, it doesn't look great from the outside. But there's still some places inside that can be safe, I think. So it'll be tough patching things up, but it's a good spot for now. For now.
So- I was gonna say, what can I do to help?
Well, assuming all the kids are inside and like ushered inside.
They're definitely beginning to work their way that direction, yeah.
All right. Well, just gonna, kind of make sure they're continuing to go inside. I mean, I think the best thing to do right now is, I don't know if there's anything to be done right now. I'm kind of glancing back over my shoulder. I don't know exactly. I know that just based on the drive alone, that it's going to take a little bit of time for David to get back, but I don't want to go inside, kind of just waiting at the entrance.
As the kids begin funneling towards the main entryway, Ari's kind of building up the confidence to walk past them, sort of continuing to usher them forward as Fiona provides a very, very small gap between herself and the doorway to step out just enough to provide that next hand for the bucket passing of children sort of being escorted inward.
Sure.
But Ari eventually begins moving further out, looking to approach, eventually coming up to both of you in the open air. Hello?
Oh,
Is this a new friend, Adrian?
this is Addison.
Ma'am.
Oh,
We
Addison. Well, it's good to meet you. Where are the other ones? Where's David and Gwen?
I think David should be here soon.
And
he had
that mage individual.
Well,
Oh,
he gave us a fighting chance to get out. So
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Were you able to procure any provisions or to bolster our supply if we are to maintain strength for several adults? We'll need supplies.
No.
And it's at this point you see Taurus stand up in the back of the truck, lean his rifle along the back of the cab pretty heavily, take one step up on the side, and ultimately jump down, cushioning his landing with a small knee bend. We're not staying. Got places to go, things to do.
Oh, well, all right.
We got room if you're looking to help. I know
Um,
you feel you got value here and all, and I can appreciate that, but I need your help. Something bigger. Much bigger.
well, Mr. Torres, sir, what do you mean by bigger?
We're going to save the world.
Wow, that's
That is definitely bigger.
it's pretty big.
Yeah. We're going to take this truck and we're going to get as far as we can. We're headed to Chicago.
Chicago. Wow.
We got to pick somebody up.
It's a long trip.
Don't worry. I'm going to be calling some friends along the way.
Sure.
I know you feel like you got a place and things you got to do here. I get it.
Well, Mr. Torres, sir, I just got here and
Just Taurus.
just all right, just Taurus. If you do actually need my help, I'm sure that I can come along. I don't know what good I'll be to you, but
I only saw you through the lens of a scope. You look pretty handy.
I've been in a scuffle here or there, wrestled a few bulls, rode a few horses, but
That could come
In a very
handy.
weird way, that might help, actually.
Sure. Yeah.
Adrian, you're probably not as effective, but your protective instincts are good. You got a good head about you, and that's important as well.
Yeah. Look, I'm all for saving the world and making a difference. That's all
Good,
I've ever wanted to
then
do.
we should go soon.
I can't go. I can't. I can't leave them. I got a hole in my lung. It was just Fiona and Ari, and I'll turn. I'm like, no offense, but this place needs all the extra help it can get. And
You got a
we
dozen
can't-
people here?
Well, we don't have a lot, but also
I'm talking
am
about
very aware-
everybody here, Adrian. Everybody.
Yeah, well, for the past however many months, I have been these kids' everything. I'm not going to abandon them now. And we sure as hell can't take them all the way to Chicago. Pardon my French.
On John Tay.
I want y'all to be successful. I want you to get where you're going and be safe and save the world, but I can't leave them and we can't take them with us.
You see him start to shake his head and grow agitated for a brief moment. Spits on the ground. Fuck it, whatever. Addison, we're going to be pushing out soon if you want to help make a difference. I'll talk to David when he gets back. And you see him begin to move towards the back of the truck, unzipping his duffel bag that David had previously pilfered for its armor and ammunition, more or less removing himself from the conversation at hand.
That is one agitated man. He
He's
always
lost.
like that?
Well, not quite to that extent, but, you know, grief and loss will mess with you, so. And he lost someone less than 24 hours ago that was pretty close to him, so. But he's good. Can rely on him, I think. Sounds like you're going to be a benefit and asset to them too.
Well, I certainly hope so, Miss Adrian.
I need y'all to save the world so these kids have something to look forward to in the future other than this.
As the gravity and weight of loss begins to enter into the conversation, David. What are you doing?
I think at this point, having had a little while to sit and cry for a minute, probably a little more than a minute. Take a moment and pack up whatever things that I can from whatever Gwen may have had on her that we didn't grab. Just do a quick check, make sure that I got everything I need, and then probably got to start walking back to the school. Unfortunately, there's not a whole lot of time here before we gotta move on to the next thing, I think. So I'll start walking back.
Okay. As you begin navigating back, there is a series of low growls and signs of life or lack thereof coming from the brushwork and distant sort of standoff edge lines of tall grass and trees around you. Knowing certainly that they couldn't come from a purposefully incapacitated body, they sort of surround you in a vague semblance of this chaotic harmony that kind of mixes with some of the cicadas in the surrounding area. And as you eventually, probably after a good 15 or so minutes walking, crest into the open threshold, the break in the tree line that reveals the school ahead of you. More or less everybody, with the exception of Fiona and the children who seem to be inside at this point, and Ari, who is almost looking body posture wise to try and find a segue to exit to move back into the school herself. You do see Adrian, Charlie, Addison, and Taurus, all in their own little microcosm of contemplation as you approach. Is there anything you're looking to do right away?
I don't think I'm looking to do anything necessarily as I approach. Anyone who would look out would just kind of watch. Somewhat abnormal for David, this kind of very like slumped, hunched over body posture. Just kind of kicking the dirt as he walks, but just kind of walking on. Perhaps just playing with a knife in his hand, just kind of feeling the weight of it as he walks. It's probably his kitchen knife.
On your approach, not necessarily with a jolt or with any kind of expedient aggression, Operative Taurus casts his legs off the back of the truck bed with a quick little swing and begins taking slow steps towards you. Eventually intercepting you at this tangential angle, slight offset from shoulder to shoulder. Looking to address you very directly, but not necessarily standing in front of you or talking directly to you. When he does so, kind of just puts his hand on your shoulder. I get it. Don't let nobody tell you it'll be all right.
Yeah, I know it won't, but can't let that stop you, right?
I'm glad you think that. David, I need your help.
Sure. Where are we going?
Well, I find myself short on magic. I need an extra set of hands, and well, you doing your little RoboCop dance out there was kind of impressive, so... What do you think? You interested in coming with?
Yeah, I think that makes the most sense.
No questions? No curiosities?
I seem to recall you gave me the 30-second overview before we parted ways back there.
Sure.
This is something that can potentially find the cure. That's what I'm looking to do. He'll kind of hold up Gwen's notebook. Got a couple notes here that just might help with that. Supposed to get these in the hands of someone who actually knows what the fuck they're talking about.
You hang on to him for now, then.
I was going to say, I don't know shit.
Did you take care of what you needed to take care of?
Yeah. It's humane, but there'll be no additional Zerk running around.
That wasn't why I was asking. I just... These things are hard for a lot of people. You know, I was going to offer my assistance.
I appreciate that. Unfortunately, this is not my first time seeing a loved one's life end in my hands, so...
Me neither. You're going to go on to do good things, and we die, it's going to be glorious.
That's the dream, right?
We got to make a stop soon. I got some friends I'm going to call in. They're going to help us out.
Okay.
Maybe see if you can't help rope Addison in a little bit more. Seems unemphatic, I think is the word Mage would use.
I'll have a conversation.
Something else, though.
Sure.
I think Adrian's looking to stay. You got one more goodbye in you today?
Let me go and talk to her, and we'll see what has to happen.
Take all the time you need, as long as it's fast.
Yeah, sure.
And he turns and begins walking back to the truck, sort of purposefully veering out of your path of progress.
Sure, I'll just kind of give him a pat on the back, and guess I'll make my way to wherever Addison and Adrian are.
I see you approach. I'm gonna take a step forward as though I'm preparing to give you a hug, but I'm gonna try to gauge if a hug is a bad idea right now, or if you would accept a short, brief squeeze.
I think you can tell, right? You can see that David's eyes are puffy, but there is kind of this almost blank stare on his face, as if he's just a little bit numb right now. So probably doesn't even register or acknowledge that that's a thing you're trying to do.
Okay, so I'm gonna go in and just give you a hug. I'm just gonna... I'm sorry. I know that doesn't help, but I am sorry. Pull away. I guess you're gonna be heading out?
It seems like the plan. I understand you're thinking about hanging out here.
Yeah. I just don't get me wrong, saving the world sounds like a whole time, but I think I'm needed here, David.
Sure.
You're gonna take care of yourself, right?
Best I can.
I'm gonna go in for a hug, but this one's more of like a this is like a goodbye hug. So it's a little tighter. I'll pull away. I don't know how we're gonna keep things running without you here.
Well, I recommend making sure that the kids get at least 2 square meals a day, and make sure that no one goes missing. And
all right, I think those things I can handle.
yeah. Well, beyond that, just scare away any outsiders, and I don't know, if you're bored, maybe you could try to rebuild the front of the school. That seems like a kind of a big task, but
That seems like a good place to start, right?
At this point, you see Ari kind of walking up in between the two of you and sort of just overhearing the tail end of your conversation. Our arts and crafts have been lacking, so maybe we'll try to get things back in order, David.
Worst case scenario, you could just kind of try to barricade this entrance and use another one, and just try to make sure it's clear before blocking it off, of course.
Of course, David, yes. I understand then you'll be leaving with the gentleman Addison as well?
Oh, yeah. I don't think we've actually had like a formal introduction, but pretty sure we exchanged names in the truck over.
These days, that's enough.
Yeah, you know, so long as no one tries to bite you, you're in pretty good company.
We'll never forget what you've done for us here, David.
Well, y'all...
You and Gwen.
Yeah, y'all do me a favor and make sure someone gets out of this thing, okay?
You have my word, David, yes.
All right.
Adrian will keep us all safe, I promise.
Y'all good on supplies? Do you need anything at this moment?
We'll have to do
I
a
hear
run.
you have a world to save. What's the concern that could outweigh that?
Well, if y'all starve to death before we save the world, doesn't do us much good, does it?
Well, our chef will come home, right?
Fingers crossed.
Go in for one last hug.
You hear
This
from
is the
behind
one.
you.
This is the one where David, like, actually, like, it registers, and you actually, like, feel him hug you back.
Third time's a charm.
A quick series of bangs from behind you.
Oh, God.
Operative Taurus banging on the top of the cab of the truck, followed quickly by Charlie. What the fuck are you doing? Oh, shit. Operative Taurus kind of leaning against the cab. We got 6 hours at most. I gotta make this call. Who's coming with me?
I would like to reach behind me wherever I've tucked away the remaining bits of this first aid kit that I got from Gwen, and I would like to hand it to David. None of us are gonna be as skilled as Gwen was, but I think y'all are gonna need that more than us. What's left of it.
Well, thank you. If you're sure. How are you on? Do you have a gun? Ammo?
Probably got some rounds around here somewhere. We'll be fine, David.
I'll pull Gwen's pistol out from my belt and just offer it over. Got a couple rounds in here too. Not a lot, but if it'll help.
Thank you.
Operative Taurus jumps from the back of the cab and begins kind of marching over to you. Quickly stands up in front of Adrian, kind of grabbing the pistol from your hand. Takes a side glance at you, David. Belong to your old lady, right?
Sure, but you know, I can't carry, well, rather, I can't use more than 2 guns at once, so.
I mean, recent evidence to the contrary, but...
You find me another one of them backpacks, and I'll wear that thing again any day you want.
He moves behind you, and you feel him kind of reach into the back portion of your waist, snatching on the belt a little bit to loosen it up before jamming the grip, the pistol down to the grip in your waistband. We don't have much left of the people we care about. I keep what magic I can with me. You hang on to that. And you see him pull his sidearm out, this extremely large caliber, but otherwise hefty looking pistol that he quickly flips around, grabbing the barrel and extending the grip towards you, Adrian. Anywhere waist up, and they're basically going to fall apart with that, so.
Thank you.
What do you think, Addison? You want to shoot my big gun? And he kind of casually begins walking away unceremoniously.
Hey, I know you don't understand why I'm staying. You may not agree with it. But I promise you, you can save the world, fix the future. I'll make sure they're ready for it.
You got your work cut out for you. So do we.
Sounds like we... Good luck.
See you around, Adrian. You got fire. I like that. And he turns and begins walking back to the truck.
Addison?
Ma'am, thank you for everything. And I'll try to do you proud.
Be safe out there.
Start walking towards Taurus.
And you see him hip holding his massive sniper rifle. All right, Addison, this thing is designed to kill a building. So what you want to do, and kind of goes through the quick rundown of the operational mechanics and how the overall weapon functions as you're kind of moving towards providing Adrian and David a final moment.
Be safe out there.
Gonna try. But if this thing is worth doing, seems like it's worth doing well, you know?
Yeah. Thanks for everything, David.
Yeah, hey, tell the kids that, just, I don't care what you tell them really, but have them remember. Gwen.
I will. I will. I promise.
Thanks. I'll turn and follow in Addison's steps, heading towards the truck.
Ari moves up next to you as David begins to walk away. It'll be all right.
Yeah.
The heroes, they leave us, and heroes we stay.
Someone's got to save the world. Might as well be them.
It is us. As Addison jumps into the back of the vehicle, going over the weapon components with Operative Taurus, David making a slow shamble their direction as the rather loud and obnoxious engine once again springs to life. The car quickly accelerating in the distance after everybody is secured, leaving taillights and dust for Adrian and Ari to consider for the few minutes they remain in view. After loading up into the back of the truck, Operative Taurus essentially takes a brief stand aside, looking to speak to the pair of you perhaps a little bit more deliberately, setting the gun butt down, leaning up against it to try and stabilize it on what is otherwise a little bit of a bumpy pathway forward. Charlie only operating off a loose sense of direction, at least for the moment. Operation Starlight. It's a backup initiative. Just in case everything went totally wrong, we're supposed to provide immediate access to reinforcements, supplemental provisions, additional equipment, things of that nature. A beacon, last gasp for humanity from the loving arms of Ark Industries. However, that access removes a lot of security protocols. And the Starlight facility is where they did a lot of their experiments. Which means once we activate it, things could get a little hairy. But we need to get to Chicago. And we're going to need help. Things are not going to be fun. Matter of fact, things are going to be real bad for a while. Appreciate you both helping out.
Yeah, I was counting on not being fun as part of the kind of mission description, so.
Oh, well then you nailed it.
Yeah, perfect, thanks. So, anything else you got for us? Is the sky blue today, or?
Well, it's nighttime, but.
Technicalities.
We got a long drive, but was able to check a map recently, and I think we can go mostly off-road. Avoid the major cities, and find our way further north. Refuel where we can. If you're into that.
Well, I mean, I suppose it's that or walking, right?
Well, we might be doing some of that anyway.
Sure.
So, as of right now, an old man, cowboy, chef, want to save the world. You have any questions?
I got just one. Do we get like cool code names like you have?
Sure. You can have a cool code name. I think you could be Daffodil.
I was thinking maybe something more like rodeo or something, but
I'm gonna lean over to Addison and just be like, look, I've been through this rodeo before. The nicknames, they sound cool, but they're just a bunch of assholes. Don't worry about it.
I mean, picking your own code name is pretty cringe, but yeah, I mean, if you want to go by rodeo, that's fine. We'll get you some patches made up or something. I actually know an operative who dabbles in that a little bit.
I think I'll go by David. No offense.
Oh, that'll fit on a patch.
Okay.
All right. The plan right now, we ride fast and hard, move north, and we're probably going to have to go on foot. Quick estimates put us about 2.5 hours worth of gas. Haven't told Charlie we'd be walking yet, so we're going to have to listen to him bitch. But other than that, we should be in good shape. We can get to Chicago in, a couple weeks, but we're going to shortcut that as soon as we can, so. All good?
Yeah.
Think so.
All right.
Wow,
Chicago
yeah.
once, so this will be a nice little trip before everything goes to shit.
Well,
While
I
we're
mean,
just chilling.
it's kind
like,
of shitty
can we-
now, but yeah.
Can we do like a icebreaker? Addison, what are you about? What was your I don't know, what's a good icebreaker question? What's a fun
Rodeo.
fact? You're right.
Oh,
Rodeo. What's your fun fact? Aside from the fact that you chose to call yourself Rodeo.
well,
Pretty cringe, but
I was actually in the Georgia National Rodeo for riding, wrestling, and roping. I'm not so good at the roping, but yeah, I've been
Sure. Yeah.
been on a horse, been on a ranch since I was a kid. So
I struggle with the roping too. So, you know, it's yeah. I'm operative Taurus. I shoot things from far away. David.
My name is David. I am a chef in retirement.
We're good. Now we're all best of friends.
Perfect. That's Charlie up there. I met him. He drives the truck.
Yeah, he likes green soda. He's a slob and he's very loud.
If you see any beer though, I do owe him a beer. So
yes, sir.
Keep that in mind.
Cool. All right.
As you're driving, you hear this. Your pathway forward quickly becoming rocky and unstable. And as you try to maintain your balance, the truck veers off of this lowly paved road and quickly hits a tree. I'm going to need Addison and David, please, to make an effort to utilize your grace. I will also provide you focus.
That is a focus roll of 11.
I'll do a focus for 14.
So the destabilization of the vehicle, almost certain to throw you free from the vehicle, you're able to harness your wherewithal in the split second as you feel the uneven bouncing, the hydraulics giving way to quickly deflating tires, securing yourself in a way where you are still expelled from the otherwise entirely exposed bed of the truck, but not tumbling in a terrible roll off to the slight declination onto the side of this road into the forest line, or smashing into some heavy solid object, being thrown to the ground, ultimately tumbling and rolling a bit, but not seeming to sustain any immediate and significant damage. I am going to have both of you please make an effort to utilize your grit, though.
That's a 7.
7 as well.
Okay. Banged up, immediately sore, head, ears ringing, but nothing that represents hindering injury in the most immediate of senses. You do hear that the car horn is being laid on heavy. And as you both begin to square your vision, you see Charlie laid up and wrapped around the front of the steering wheel, seemingly unconscious behind it. Operative Taurus, probably about 15 to 20 feet away from you, slightly down the edge of the off-road declination, lying face up, unconscious for the moment. What would either of you like to do?
I'll get Charlie, you get Taurus.
Before I make any moves, I want to do a really quick 360. Something happened, and if Charlie has been attacked in any way, I would like to know where it's coming from, if possible.
Make an effort to notice.
Yeah, sure. I'm going to go ahead and use one of those well-prepareds from last week.
Sure.
That's a 8.
Okay. You do notice, as you look around, the trees are awash in movement, a slight breeze cutting through their alms, but there is some of this movement that seems to stand out to you as being slightly off. Not enough to catch specific detail, especially in the low light with canopy cover, but it's not wind that is moving in the nearby brush. You can get a definitive sense that you quickly caught a glance. 1, 2, a couple, a few, maybe something moving around you in the woodline.
there's something out there, and I'm gonna pull my rifle around and kind of leap out of the truck, but then hug up against it on the opposite side from wherever I just saw them moving, using the vehicle for cover.
Addison, as you go to retrieve Charlie, make an effort to utilize your fitness, please.
Yes, sir. That's a 7.
Okay. Charlie seems unconscious, but alive. The full left side of his face covered in a bloody mess from the collision. Clearly injured, probably some type of impairment due to the wreck, but alive. You're able to pull him from the vehicle, laying him on his back. And as you are quickly trying to take stock of the moment, David, you see Operative Taurus slowly crawling, hands and knees towards the edge of the roadway, pistol in one hand, trying to pull himself forward as he's looking around. Rip strips, we got flatted. And he's quickly looking around. And you hear a shot ring out. Addison, roll a d4 for me, please.
That's a 1.
Okay. There's a quick moment of pause between the noise from the shot and the stinging bite. And all of a sudden, Addison, you feel, maybe not in the devastating capacity that Operative Taurus's rifle would do, but a small caliber round having pierced the back of your leg on one side, forcing you down to a knee. Make an effort to utilize your grit or your focus.
With this happening, I'd like to identify where exactly that shot came from.
Make an effort to notice as well, please.
That's a 15 for focus, sir.
Okay. Spurred on by the adrenaline of the moment, you see Addison quickly charging your direction, looking to find cover behind the front of the vehicle, the engine block providing some semblance of cover, at least for the moment, as you peer around looking for the assailants in question. David.
7 notice.
You cannot identify where the shot came from. There's trees and dirt and roadway. What would both of you like to do?
It hasn't even been a few hours and we're already being shot at. Is this normal?
What world are you living in?
And as this conversation is taking place, you see Operative Taurus's arms swing upward and immediately begins racking off shots towards the tail end of the truck somewhere. It's two. Watch flank.
Alright.
And begins firing off rounds.
I'll pull out the Gemini knife that I was gifted and just kind of hold it close to me, and this is all I got, sir.
I will pull Gwen's pistol out, hand it off. I guess I want that back later, but you can keep it for now.
Okay. Taurus continues to fight his way forward until you see him leaning on the side of the truck before moving back around to find this small huddle of protection in front of the truck. The three of you standing in this pseudo-pyramid formation as he's breathing heavy, clearly somewhat injured from the crash, but not incapacitated entirely, as Charlie continues to lie unconscious on the ground just beside the driver's exit. As he is trying to assess the surroundings. All right, there's at least 2 shooters that way, and there's probably gonna be... And you see Taurus fall forward directly in front of you. A shot ricocheting from the brush line nearby, flattening Taurus to the ground.
immediately I'm gonna put like a hand to the neck, check for injuries. I'm trying to figure out how bad this is.
Make an effort to utilize your first aid. I'll say with a quick perusal of Gwen's book in recent memory, I'll provide you a well-prepared in Gwen's honor.
All right. That's a 4.
So, looking around, trying to get an assessment, you do get a pulse. There's extremely shallow breath being drawn, and as you quickly shift to examine the wound, you see this quarter-size mushroomed round flattening out along the backside of Taurus's vest. A ballistic plate taking the brunt of the impact, but in his weakened state, causing a significant impact that, at least for the moment, is incapacitating him.
Sure, I'm gonna smack him somewhat gently across the face and try to wake him up as he's lying there, roll him on his back and say, "Hey, get up."
He rolls over, sort of groggy, and immediately goes to point his weapon, not realizing the gun fell out of his hand in the drop. We gotta run. We gotta run.
There, take a sec. All right, okay.
And directly behind you, you hear a loud gunshot ring out in the roadway, and an individual with a dark-colored, brownish draper standing there. All right, now. Don't you fucking move. You there, cook boy. Put the gun down. You too, cowboy. And as he is talking, there are a slow cadre, a set of pairs that begin emerging from the tree line, a total of 6 individuals. What would you like to do?
I'm gonna slowly put the pistol down.
That's right. Nice and easy. Come on now. We ain't got on nothing now. Be the last jack you've ever flapped if you don't put that weapon down.
I'm gonna put it down. As I do, I'm gonna try to shift what I've got on me as I can to try to just make sure that Gwen's notebook is tucked somewhere out of sight under whatever jacket or bag that I may have.
Make an effort to utilize your grace as part of this effort.
Yeah, it's a 6.
Okay. Quick shift of both body posture, some elbow maneuvering as part of a purposefully clumsy set down of your weapon. Sees the surrounding forces now multiplied from the 4 approaching on the side to a total of 8 when including the individuals moving from the backside of the truck. All of them with a variety of different seemingly mundane or basic hunting style rifles pointed at you all. Moving around the truck, kicking Charlie in the foot. What about this one, Paul? He's not looking good. That's all right. I'll put him in the second group. These 2, though. Let me have a look at you. All right. Both of you been eating and pretty strong. This group of individuals now basically securing both arms in place following your disarmament. This ratty looking individual now just close enough within the moonlight, a massive sort of 7 o'clock shadow giving way to a much, much longer beard, crooked nose, and a massive spray of blood corpuscles that sort of wash across the nose, directly underneath the eyes, across the cheeks. Gray stringy hair from underneath a leathery hood that seems to fall back as he approaches, kind of completing the old school duster look. All right, these are group 1 for sure. Oh yeah. Plus the other 2? Oh yeah. You get paid well now. All right. Bag 'em and tag 'em, let's go. And I need both of you to make an effort to utilize your grit.
That's a 4.
9.
David, I'll have you roll a d4, please.
2.
Both of you in unison, rifle butts to the back of the head, sees Addison quickly jarred and knocked to the ground, similarly unable to maintain such a clear and vulnerable strike. You too are cast to the ground, though the strike doesn't seem to knock you unconscious immediately. Are you inclined to take additional action or remain on the ground?
Probably just lie there for a second. See if anything else happens next.
As you are lying there immobile for a brief moment, stuck in your consideration and pain, you feel a bag thrown over your head as you hear the noise of a very brief yet very quickly squashed effort from Taurus to provide resistance, as the sound of a bludgeoning crack seems to still his form of resistance for the moment. Now that one's all beat up. He's tag him for 2. These 2 I want in group 1. All right, load them up, let's go! Fire it off! And you... Well, David, are you doing anything?
I'm going to, I think, do my best to pretend to be unconscious for the moment, but I am noting if they take any of our stuff, particularly because I've got a chef's knife in the pocket of my apron, and I have a Gemma knife tucked into my shoe.
Okay. You find your hands bound behind your back. A gnarled twine restricting your hand movement. A cheap and almost kind of trope-esque burlap bag providing the coverage for your vision. And you find yourself tied at the ankles as you are picked up and carried in a hog tie capacity. Your movement, this gentle sway for the briefest of moments as you feel the 2 hands in between your wrists and ankles kind of carrying you like some sort of uncoordinated luggage. And as this rock grows for a brief moment, you feel yourself land, probably most likely in the back of the truck. I'm transferred out. Come on. We only got like another couple hours. We gotta hurry up. You hear the sound of additional vehicles pulling forward before their engines ultimately stop nearby. You find yourself dragged and landing on something hard yet again. I'm gonna say to maintain your current charade of incapacitation, Make an effort to utilize, I'll say, your sociology or your diplomacy. I'll let you choose.
I would choose diplomacy there. I would very much like to use one of those well-prepareds from last week. That's on the ground. I'll do it later. Yeah, that's a garbage roll. So that is a grand total of 3 diplomacy.
Okay. As you are transitioned from the back of the truck bed into whatever this alternate vehicle being pulled forward is, it seems as if even in their rather matter-of-fact approach, someone among this collection has taken note of a little bit of a grunt given out when you were transferred from hard surface to hard surface, ultimately providing enough of a hint and clue to investigate further. The vision in front of this burlap sack darkens even further for just the briefest of moments. Oh no, come on now! And there's this exerted noise of effort before you again feel the butt of a rifle crash down on you. Detained, immobilized, and with no opportunity to even brace with your vision impaired, I'm going to say go ahead and make an effort to endure. Or you can, I'm going to say, no, sorry. Use your grit. Make an effort to use your grit, but in a desperate situation.
Sure. Hey, it's a 1.
The strike landing true. Not recalling yourself having been searched, not immediately able to take in a ton of detail, but certainly getting the impression that there are a number of individuals there. You're being transferred to a different conveyance. And there's clearly something very purposeful taking place here. But it is with that you ultimately lose consciousness from the impact of the blow. Addison, David. You awake not much longer. Your head's ringing and racked with pain. A sound of wriggling chain. Your shoulders aching with pain as your hands are suspended up above your head. Your toes barely touching the ground as you feel yourself almost swaying and swinging from this suspended height. Until you hear footsteps coming towards you. There we are, we got 4 of them now. Addison, the bag ripped from your head, revealing a rather large 8-foot by 8-foot cage made of heavy metals across from you. Only moments later, having his bag removed, David suspended from the corner of this cage opposite you. In the other corner, smaller in stature, toes not as readily able to dangle off the ground, there is a feminine form. And directly next to you, Addison, a much taller form. Both of them dressed in urban-esque, sort of backwoods clothing. An unusual combination of the two. But Lexi and Smokey, what is it that David and Addison would see?
Lexi is short in stature, but built, cropped, dark hair, very, very clearly done, probably with a knife. Stern, angry kind of look about her. Hard to say if that's just the situation and circumstance. But she is, I assume she is also suspended. Yeah, yes.
Correct.
So,
yes.
You get the impression that despite being short, perhaps, were she not suspended, she would maybe be a bit of a physical threat, just based on her size.
And Smokey.
Smokey is lanky, tall. If you look close enough, Addison, since you're the closest, you can tell that they're actually kind of up on tiptoe intentionally to give the illusion that they've been hung high enough. But they probably could easily put their feet flat on the floor. As soon as your bags get ripped off, they have like kind of this impish grin across half of their face. You can see a chipped bottom tooth. Come here often?
Oh my, no. Where's Taurus? Mr. David, you okay? You awake?
Unfortunately.
Now y'all shut the fuck up now. And you hear from outside the cage this bang on the outside of the bars. And as you look around, you find that you are outdoors. You are in a forested environment. This standalone cage almost erected into and secured into solid earth, providing a stationary cage out here in who knows where. Now, you all shut the fuck up and mind your manners, okay? Fucking A, man. There's always the trash. Fuck. And he walks away probably about 20 or so feet. All right, yeah, come on. Yeah, they're ready. This is a good one. Top tier. And you see this individual approaching. A beautiful, nearly pristine blue suit. And underlying lights, almost lilac-esque dress shirt, and a tie matching the exterior jacket. Extremely well coiffed, combed blonde hair, black leather driving gloves that seem extremely tight and form-fitting to the hand. This is the best, I see. Well, the fuck you mean? Not a whole lot running around out here, in case you ain't noticed. Now, this is the best group you're gonna find anywhere nearby, I promise you that. Okay? We cut you a deal on group 2. Now let's not make anything all fussy now. With your combed ass hair and your nice clothes. We got a deal or what? And this well-dressed individual approaches the cage directly between Smokey and Addison. User, do you consider yourself speedy? Like a little fuzzy bunny rabbit?
Are you talking to me, sir?
Oh, sure, yes. The muscles on you. Are you fast as well?
Sir, may I ask what's going on? Can you let us out of here, please?
Oh, of course, yes. My next order of business. Sort of draping his fingers along the bars of the cage, rotating around it with this delicate sort of racking on the bar. each time he passes a new one before stopping near you, Lexi. What about you? Are you big tough American?
Just let me down. You can find out.
Whoop! Okay. Ah, yes. The fingers continuing to rack around the outside, bouncing off the bars. Is this one a cook? He cooks things? This is your job? You there! Are you handy with a knife?
Suppose that depends on what I'm chopping.
Oh, mysterious. He's an elusive one. Okay.
Hey, you didn't ask me what I'm good at.
Well, you are tall. Let me guess, the basketball.
Yes, sure. I'm great at being tall.
Yes, this is obvious. So, the group is a little unenthusiastic.
Are you kidding? I'm loving every minute of this.
And a little loud. But, other than that, they will likely do. But, Group 2 is absolute mess. I'm afraid the original agreements for the combination of the two simply will no longer stand. Ah, you fucking son of a bitch! I knew it! You piece of shit. We had an agreement. I'll settle down. 300 canned foods. 40 gallons of water. That is the best offer I can provide to you. Fuck it, whatever. I don't give a shit anymore. This isn't even worth our time. And you see the dustered individual begin navigating away, leaving the four of you facing this individual in the blue suit. Eventually crossing his arms, sort of staring at each one of you moment by moment, kind of looking you over. Oh, yes. So, rushing up and grabbing two of the bars in between Addison and Smokey. Would you like to be let go? Do you want to be free from this place? Fly like the bird? Yes?
I believe I stated as much earlier.
Ah, yes, you did. Mr. Cowboy.
Do you want to fill us in on the rest of the bargain?
Yes, of course. This is the fun part. See, you will be released. And then we will find you. And then we kill you. However,
Oh, that does sound fun.
the last one of you to remain alive will receive 100 cans of food, 20 gallons of water, and sent on your merry way a parting gift. So, what do you think? Mr. Cowboy? Miss America, bang bang. Who's ready for a good time?
So you're saying that you're out here playing some fucking Hunger Games shit while the world is in flames. That's it. This is what you're doing. This is how you're using your time.
Well, we did not get the unedited version of this movie, so it is hard to say. But yes, I think so.
It was a shitty movie anyways.
Oh yes, that's disappointing. even still, I hope to bring my own cinematics. Should be a very good time. Well, for me and for my associates.
How many
Not as
associates
much
you got?
for some of you. Well, there are certain things I would keep close to the chest.
You're about to hunt us down. I think you can give us a little more than that.
This is true, but I don't want to. So,
Come on. It's not a victory well earned unless it's a fair fight. Why don't you give us something we can work with?
oh, the tall sprout of beans speaks.
Oh, I
Smokey,
finally got a
make an
nickname.
effort to utilize your diplomacy.
Okie dokie. That is an 11.
I like you, sprout of beans. Yes. There will be 4 of us. Armed, of course. Now, we had to have them remove your firearms. You understand. You Americans must have so much more practice than us. But you will be provided a head start, of course. And Group 2 will be going alongside you. There is at least one who shows promise. Unfortunately, that is a rather lackluster group by comparison. So, who's ready for a good time?
Let me make you a counteroffer.
Oh, negotiation. Yes, like the TV show. Go ahead.
Do you like having Zerk running around, killing people, making it dangerous to live left and right? Is that a thing that you enjoy?
Not specifically, no.
So what if I told you that before I kind of look it over the folks who had interrupted our journey, before your associate stopped us, we were trying to go and get a doctor and save the world. You're telling me that you think it's worth it?
Big American heroics, yes?
Look, I'll replace my name with yours, and whatever monument gets made for whoever gets to save somebody. I'm just trying to make sure this is a world where people don't fucking wake up and die at the hands of some kind of weird creature.
Well, you could see how in this current situation I have sort of a vested interest in one side versus the other. But make an effort to utilize your diplomacy, please. This will be well prepared also.
It's only a 5.
So I'll tell you what. If you die, Scout's honor, I will go about saving the world in some capacity in the near future. And I will carve your name into whatever statue they would like to carve of me. Now, personally, I think my representation would be of a higher cut. But even still, I do not want for glory. Just a little spot in this maddening world. So, we start with the group 2, since they need the extra time. And then we send you off scurrying like the fuzzy little bunnies. And then we come like the big bad wolf, yes? Ooh. Fighting. Not the tall one. Doesn't like it. That's fine. I have high hopes for the cowboy. And maybe America Bang Bang is hard to say. But, for the time being, I will leave you to your thoughts. Maybe you need a mental preparations of sorts, or like a prayer thing or something like that. Whatever it is you do, feel free. I do not judge or discriminate, so do whatever it is you need to do to prepare. I have to go speak with our other friends in the other cage. So, ta-ta, see you soon.
Mr.
And-
German, sir?
Oh, Mr. Cowboy, yes.
May I have my hat back, please?
Oh, the American wants his hat back. That is so cute. Okay, for sure. Yes, definitely. And you see him going through this collected bags that seems to have been the amassed collection of your items before sort of rifling around. Where is the hat? The cowboy needs his hat! And looking around, you see one of the sort of hillbilly trapper people out there wearing it. Oh, I see. So you look to take. And he snatches it directly off his head as you see him kind of flail and try to grab back at it. I pay for what you catch. Everything in that bag and this belongs to me. Now walk away and do it quietly. And he begins moving back towards the cage, being very careful to pop the hat out and kind of adjust the brim, trying to smooth it out from the interior before flattening it just enough to slide it through the bars and kind of once again popping the top. Mr. Cowboy. Well, I can't. Tell you what. When it's time to go, you can put it on. And sort of just drops it near your feet.
Much
Hey,
obliged.
Hans Gruber, would you tell the folks in Group 2 that
Hans Gruber, what is this?
I am... it's a movie character.
Oh, yes, I like this. Hans Gruber.
Would you tell the folks in Group 2 that the chef is ready for one last magic trick?
You do magic as well?
It's a side hobby. Maybe if I get out of this thing, I'll show you.
Every single one has been so different. This is so exciting. Yes, of course. Magic trick. Do you need an assistant? Is that your master plan? Your sneaky plan? I see through your tricks.
What is this, fucking Vegas? Can we run or what? What are we doing here?
Oh, the fuzzy bunny rabbit is ready to run. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. And the individual turns and begins to walk away from the cage.
Can I take notice of that bag that had our stuff in it that he kind of rummaged through?
Sure. It's a pretty cruddy black leather looking bag. Some kind of repurposed gem duffel, more or less. What are the rest of you looking to do for the moment as you are left in a brief isolation?
What are the... how are we suspended? Rope?
A hook that seems to intercept the gap of twine between your two wrists.
Oh. How high, how far are we from the top?
Probably about a foot. It's got a carabiner closure, so it's not like a meat hook you're hanging on.
Sure.
It doesn't seem as if it was meant to necessarily detain you indefinitely. It's more of kind of a movement and storage mechanism to some extent. Wouldn't be difficult to get out if that was your intent, but it would be probably overt to do so.
Okay.
Does anyone like to do anything specific?
Can I tell how this door is closed on this cage?
Make an effort to utilize your sciences.
Can we see the Group 2 from where we are?
Make an effort to notice.
That's a -3.
You see what probably functions as a door, and it has something kind of in the way of a functional square cutout that's heavy and bolted that probably represents both the locking mechanism and the actual bolt itself in some capacity, but certainly not something you'd be architecturally familiar with.
Right.
Smokey?
That's an 8, and are we still in a
Yep.
Okay, well,
Yeah, so it would be well prepared.
my scatterbrain feat or training, I'm going to take a 2 additional to that, so it's going to be 10 total.
Okay. So as you look across, you see another cage some distance away, probably a couple hundred feet. In the dark, dim light, it's very difficult to make out any specific details, but there is what you can see a rather sizable individual in girth, a large kind of red shirt with dark straps that seem to represent suspenders that kind of cut up the silhouette of color at a distance. Larger, probably somewhat shorter. You can't quite tell a lot of the details, but another individual that is also large directly next to them, though more in stature and build, probably a good 8 inches taller and clearly thick from top to bottom, representing a decent fighting frame, probably about your height, maybe a hair taller, with a stacked set of muscles surrounding the skeletal structure. Other than that, there are 2 that are directly behind them that appear out of view that you're not able to kind of make out additional details, especially with the size of their frames. But there is apparently a cage with 2 more individuals beyond.
I'm gonna glance towards David. You said you were looking for a doctor. Get a way to fix this? Sounds like...
I don't know.
Oh. Okay. Appreciate the honesty. Just a story, or you're not sure if it's...
I was following the good recommendation of a friend who I believe is correct. It was a long shot to begin with, and well, as you can see, it's not going very well. But I'm gonna just do like a quick look around, make sure that there's nobody within earshot.
It appears they've provided you some space for the moment, yep.
If somehow we can all get out of this, there is a very real potential that we could stop the spread of the virus, find a cure. It's a little bit above my pay grade.
All right.
I volunteered just because I got nothing else to do.
Killing people already?
You hear gunfire coming from somewhere in the tree line beyond, no visible source. No sense of panic or unease from anybody surrounding you.
Wow, was that the C team? Was that third string? That's pretty fucking rough.
I'm gonna try to get myself out of this. I'm gonna try to get myself down. God. Ooh, maybe not.
I think you're going to take a penalty if you don't play by the rules.
The rules are already kind of fucked up, so.
No argument there.
You can make an effort to utilize your fitness if you'd like to try and dismount from your overhead detainment.
I don't want to risk the penalty. I'll just wait. Shake it out when I eventually get down.
Okay. After another 10 or so minutes, you hear a little bit of groaning take place and the crashing of metal. Smokey, already with a decent eye line on the immediate locale and personnel involved, sees that the individuals in the opposite cage are being pulled down. Marched and walked towards the 100 or so feet away from you, the approximate middle between where the two cages would be. I'm going to say David and Addison. You'd be able to recognize that Charlie and Taurus are among this group.
And they seem to be able to walk on their own.
Charlie is probably struggling a little overtly. Go ahead and make a effort to utilize your first aid. I'm going to say based on the lighting and distance, it is a desperate effort, but you are also well prepared as per our hype train.
Okay. That's a 3.
Charlie probably isn't drunk on all the soda, but a slight wobble to his movement seems to suggest at least a somewhat severe concussion as part of the car crash from earlier.
Sure.
Beyond that, you see Operative Taurus's rather large and sizable frame moving with structured and rigid discipline, almost purposefully trying to give no signs of weakness away. Directly behind Taurus, popping into view for a brief moment, an elderly looking woman, seemingly a little bit frail and slightly short on food in recent memory, it would seem, and a comparably elder male that is maybe a little bit stockier, a little bit more well built, but ultimately neither of them clearly in good physical form for this kind of endeavor. Is anybody doing anything right away?
No, just watching this group, I guess, and seeing how they perform. A little bit grateful to have some, a little bit of a head start based on that skill set over there.
After a short moment, I'll have everybody make an effort to notice for me, please.
Can I specify something that I am looking for?
Sure.
Do we have the hunters in the general vicinity?
They are scattered kind of almost in this very, very loose semicircle, somewhat removed in a way, with the exception of the individuals that had moved forward looking to remove the subjects from the cages, holding them at gunpoint.
I don't know if you want this to be a separate roll, but I want to see which one looks the easiest to pick off physically.
Okay.
That was a 6 for a notice.
7 notice.
Smokey?
That's an 11, and since it's still well prepared, I guess I'll take an extra 3, so 14.
Okay. So you all notice that the general rigmarole of these individuals pushing forward, they're all kind of comparable in build. They're all a little bit scrawny. None of them like particularly or overtly built or sizable. Even standing next to Taurus, there's a very obvious discrepancy in physical forms, though they are extremely well armed. I'm going to say, Smokey, while you are kind of taking in the generalities of the surrounding environment, you at a great distance, almost kind of standing behind the hillbilly hunters surrounding this first cage of individuals in the brush line, almost purposefully concealed, but not necessarily hiding. These green masks, these black suits. And what catches your eye the most is the glint of what probably are weapon barrels, some kind of metallic glint, but also bright orange, red and white striping, some kind of alternative device taking place. but they are purposefully remaining, not, again, inherently hiding, but out of sight. Lexi, as you're observing these individuals, there's not maybe one that stands out to you as being the easiest to overtake, but you do get the quick impression, judging by the gait, the shoulder width, the way that they roll their body weight. None of them are really experienced in any kind of significant hand-to-hand combat. If you crack any one of them hard enough, you're likely to get the job done as long as you get the drop on them. They're all going to be of average resistance, with the notable exception that they're well armed in comparison to your current situation.
Okay.
You see these 4 individuals lined up, almost like an invisible starting line that runs the length between the 2 cages where you are currently being held. As a group of about a dozen of these hunters moves in behind the group, all of them armed and keeping their weapons trained on these individuals. And you again see the blue suit emerge from the brush line. Takes a few steps forward in this very dull, quiet moment. Eeny, meeny, miny, and mo. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Ooh. That's too bad. And you see him settling on the old woman at the end of the line. Okay. Bonus points for the old woman. First to 5 points wins. And you see him pull out this small caliber pistol from the inside of his jacket. From a distance, you can tell that it's probably at least somewhat well refined. Not necessarily anything that's notable or stand out beyond the fact that it has an extremely long barrel, seemingly a silencer attached to it. Pointing it directly up into the air. Go! And there's this brief pause, this moment of hesitation, where there's no activity or movement of any kind. And you see him. What the fuck? They never do the thing the way they're supposed to. Would you please, kind sir? And you immediately see this spray of gunfire directly up above them that sends them running towards the tree line. There's a god of fuzzy bunny rabbits! And with this almost joyous skip, a little bit of a dance, this tango in the hips and saunter in the footsteps, moving the direction towards your collected cage. Taking a few short steps to stop, arriving directly on the edge of it. There, so you see how it works? You, do the running, and they do the chasing. And as he says that, you see 4 individuals step out of the brush line, all wearing these neon green Zerk masks. One of them wielding 2 machetes, one of them a semi-automatic submachine gun styled weapon. One of them quickly revving up a chainsaw, and another one unholstering 2 pistols as they begin to navigate and move into the tree line after the survivors running away. So, do we have anybody that would like to volunteer for bonus points? I always like to provide the opportunity. You see, it provides for a better chase.
Do we get paid more if we volunteer and live?
Sure, why not? Just for you. My tallest.
Fuck it, I'll do it.
Fantastic. The tall bean sprout. Bonus points. Group 1. Sort of disappointed. I thought it would be the American Bang Bang. But are you ready to play?
At this point, I'm
Come
just going
on.
to lower my feet flat to the ground and like unhook myself.
Oh my goodness. This is fine though. I like it actually. Creativity will get you much farther than you think. You cannot outrun them. But you are, of course, allowed to fight back. Where would the fun be in anything else? So I must warn you. And tightening the gloves and sort of sealing the strap on a new notch around the outside of the leather gloves. I will be joining them this time. So, there you are, bonus points. I have my eye onto you. But, are you ready to begin? Yes, we play a little game. Bring them down! And walking back towards the center area directly away from you, as this group of hunters begins moving towards the cage, all of them moving in with rifles and weapons pointed in your general direction. Smokey providing a very definitive and obvious concern point, already unlatched from the roof of the cage and standing flat-foot on the floor, are brought out. As this sequence is taking place, is anyone looking to take any alternative actions here?
They all have guns, right? Yeah, no. Take my chances in the woods.
Once they get me down, I'd like to put my hat back on.
Noted. David and Smokey?
No, just let them do what they got to do.
Okay.
I think I will just try to surreptitiously, once I'm down, do a quick inventory of the things that are on me, make sure that nothing besides my firearms are missing.
Your interior knife was taken, the gem knife in your boots seemingly not disturbed. And otherwise your personal effects, like your kitchenware and Gwen's journal notes, none of that seems to have been a focus for removal. Okay. More or less limiting you to a lack of weapons in this instance.
Did they take my gem knife?
You were easier to search more thoroughly in your unconscious state, and you wake to find that your gem knife has been removed. So if nobody is looking to take additional action, the group of hunters escorting you to the middle section as the individual in the blue suit stands behind, and an additional 3 members join in rank behind him, all wearing black suits, all wielding similar instruments to the group previous. As you see him drop down and put on the very like overtly fake, the false facade of this Zerk mask, almost purposefully cartoony to some extent. He takes a step forward, certainly much more engaged than the previous group, where he seemed to kind of be rather detached from the process. Are you all ready? I would hate for this to be over quickly. Oh.
Can I like put my hands up and reach down really ungracefully into the crotch of my pants?
And you have like 5 people immediately kind of holding guns on you?
No, trust me. This is going to be good. Trust me.
No. Hold on. I want to see it.
I'm going to pull this like crumpled and crunched old pack of cigarettes out and pull out one that's like a third of a stump and just light it. Put it back in. Mental preparation.
So curious. Wow. I'm so excited. You all ready? Oh. We have the rain rolling in now. Who is ready to get sloppy?
Let's just get this over with.
Oh,
Like
fine.
I would like to just kind of pull my focus and just kind of take in everything and take in the path that we're supposed to run and just try to absorb as much information as I can.
You see him pull out the same sidearm from before, the long, sort of 10-inch suppressor attached to the end of the barrel. A standout and notable extension. 1, 2. 1 second. And he begins unscrewing the suppressor from the end of it. It's not as dramatic when it's so hollow. So, you know. It's about ceremony. You have to, you know.
Just get on with it.
Ah, right, yes. 1, 2, 3. Lets a shot off into the air.
I take off like a filly just got loose from the ranch, and I'm going after it.
I'm running.
Yeah, I'm booking it into the woods.
2-finger salute. I'm going to look at him. Come for that jacket, partner. And then I'm going to take off after them.
Yes, run, little bunny rabbit. Run. And to those of you out there surviving, stay safe. Stay alive.